everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about my April favorites. So if you have not seen one of these videos, basically I just chat about all of my favorite things in April. So the things I read, listened to, watched, did, products. So let's just get into it. So this is a booktube channel, so let's start with books. So my favorite thing that I read in April was The Locker Room by Megan Quinn. This book has so many of my favorite things. So it is a sports romance. It's baseball. It's college romance. The girl has gotten broken up with by her boyfriend of like 6 years. So she transfers to this college and to be with her like female friends living together. And then this guy relentlessly pursues her, and like he is just so sweet to her, and like he's like a big jock. He's not the typical cinnamon roll like gushy guy, but he just like falls for her and pines for her and like does everything in his power to get her to like him. And so I loved it and would highly recommend that. So for my favorite thing that I listened to this month has been like the month of podcasts in general. I just have not been really in a huge reading mood, so a lot of the times that I would be listening to audiobooks or something, I'm listening to a podcast instead. And I kind of fell down a rabbit hole of like intuitive eating podcasts. And so I listened to 3 intuitive eating podcasts, like kind of just rotated through backlists. So the Nourishing Women, It's Not About the Food, and What the Hell Do I Eat? All of them are really good, different perspectives on intuitive eating and health at every size, and just kind of like loosening diet culture, food rules, that kind of thing. And I just think that is such a helpful and healthy perspective that like it's like in goals for me. I don't know that I'm necessarily there, but hearing more and more about it is great. Then for my favorite things that I've watched, I have 2. So going with that like baseball sports romance, Major League Baseball has started. And so we are Kansas City Royals fans, and we like have to be like really sneaky about watching games because they're not on like normal TV. Well, we don't have cable, so they're not on like ESPN or anything, but there's websites and things. So we've been watching some Royals games. And then also I have discovered something so weird in April. And that is that I think if I eat too many carbs at night, like for dinner, I have nightmares. I don't know what is going on, but like I was having a few nights of just nightmares, like waking up with terrible dreams. And I realized it was nights where I ate like really carb heavy meal. So I don't know if that is like actually the correlation or what, but I've had a lot of nightmares, which means I've been watching a lot of Saved by the Bell, because like those kind of nostalgic times and like things when I can remember back to like I would watch it after school or on the weekends or whatever it would be. And that just like gives me so much comfort, because I feel like your worries are just so much less, and it's just such a wholesome show. So I watched a lot of Saved by the Bell in the middle of the night. My favorite product is this cup. So this coffee cup, It Is Well With My Soul, and it says "It Is Well" on the inside. And this is this is by far my favorite hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul." And so I saw this cup on Amazon actually, and so I got it, and it's like the perfect size. It's kind of textured, and I just love this. So I will link it down below, but I highly recommend this mug. I just love it so much, and it makes me happy. And so often like I get lost in the weeds and need to like remember it is well with my soul. And so this is a great cup. For food, I made this cream of chickpea soup one time that sounded like super sketch, and it was not very many ingredients. So I'm like, this cannot be that good. You basically just put carrots and onion and leeks and chickpeas and like broth, and and some seasonings, and you put it in a pot, cook it, and then blend it. And it was delicious, like delicious. And it was so good. So I made like little bread bowls and put it in there, and or else just had bread for dipping, and it was so good. So I will also link that recipe down below, because I love, like, I saw it on a blog or something, I don't know, and it has like 5 ingredients or whatever it is. It's really quick. And so I was like, well, if it's bad, at least I didn't waste that much time on it, and it surprised me, and it was actually really good. So I always caveat, if I ever put a recipe down below, I'm the worst at recipe following, like the worst. So I add some stuff like seasonings here or there, but I'll give you the loose recipe and you can play with it how you will. The next thing is my favorite things that I did in April. So April was a really blah month for me. And reading wise, life wise, like, I don't know. April, I feel like like January, you're all excited because it's a new year, new you, yay, yay, yay. February, you have Valentine's Day. It's a short month. It normally goes quick. March, you have like St. Patrick's Day and spring break, and the weather starts getting nicer. And then April is just kind of rainy. There's not a whole lot going on. Weather's really up and down. It's just kind of blah. And like, we had a long stretch of like a lot of rain and just gloomy. So I think that kind of impacted my mental health. But April was just meh for me. So my favorite things that I did, though, Easter was a great time. It was, again, different. We just did an Easter egg hunt here at the house, but I got pre-filled Easter eggs with, like, cheap stuff in it, and my daughter was thrilled. So seeing the joy and excitement of holidays is so fun for me. So Easter was great. And then I also kind of prioritized self-care in April. So I reduced the amount of times that I'm going to be doing TGI Friend Days and just really started to examine, like, my priorities and how to best like take care of me and my family and still do the things I love. And so I was really trying to play with that in April, and I feel like that is a hard thing to do, but a really good thing to do. So I did that in April. And then the last thing that I did in April was we are still house hunting, and we looked at so many houses, and it's so stressful to continue to lose them. We just lost one yesterday because the bidding had gone up to $55,000 over asking. We're like, okay, we're out. I mean, we can't do that. And so that part is really, really frustrating. The hunt is very bittersweet. Like, it's very fun, but it's also sad because you find one you love and you lose it. But we have the blessing of a flexible timeline, and so that is great that we're not like in a super big rush. We don't have to get into these bidding wars or buy something crummy just to move. So it's a good like silver lining to remember that we're very, very blessed to have a flexible timeline. So that's kind of the best and worst thing that I did in April. And then the last thing is my mom hack. And so this one is more of like a mom hack for me. Again, with the kind of self-care thing, I love scrapbooking for my kids, and I have this weird like nostalgia of what's happening right now. Like, I'm already sad that they're growing up, even though the days are so long sometimes. And so one thing I thought of to do is not every night, but most nights, and when I go to put my 3-year-old down, for bed, I will take my phone and start a voice memo and just let it record, because if you're a parent, you know that like bedtime time is when the most like deep conversations happen throughout the day, and like it's like your child just wants to like spill their guts. Part of it is probably delaying going to bed, but the other part is just like that ability to like relax and just chat and like kind of unload whatever they need to unload for the day. And my daughter says some of the funniest things, and I realized that I had like a fair amount of pictures and videos and things of them doing things, but I don't have very much of just like her little voice. And just like I have nieces and nephews and stuff, and it's like you can't even remember their little toddler voice. And so now I've got days and days worth of recordings of her little voice, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it, but by having the voice memo, they're small files, I can put them in like iMovie or something and just make a monthly. I don't know what I'll do with them, but I'm really happy that I have those because I get to capture what she's saying and her voice. And so that is everything for April. What are your favorites for April? The favorite thing you read, watched? Did you discover something new, or like me, did you go back to an old favorite? What did you do in April? Did you do anything fun? Do you agree that April is kind of just a meh month? Like, May is Mother's Day, my birthday. Weather really typically starts to get better, at least around here, and it's like the excitement of summer. Kids get out of school, like, and then June and July are summer. I mean, it's just April is a weird month for me, almost always. So how was your April? Let me know. I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you for watching.